Hello, powerful Scorpio. Something is shifting beneath the surface, and this is far more than just another fortunate week. This is a moment of deep return, not to an old version of yourself or to someone else's expectations, but to the steady, authentic self you've sensed during your quietest moments. As June 23rd and 24th arrive, that version of you is beginning to emerge with calm confidence and quiet strength. This point in the year carries a rare energy, not loud or demanding, but steady enough to be felt in your bones. There is something in that energy that gently reminds you that you no longer have to chase what belongs to you. What is meant for you is already finding its way forward. Maybe you've noticed a strange mix of heaviness and awareness when you wake up lately. Or perhaps certain numbers and dreams keep returning to your attention. Those signs are not meaningless. They are part of the shift, part of the jackpot that cannot be measured by what you hold, but by the moment you finally feel safe enough to receive. It doesn't matter how this message reached you. Maybe someone shared it with you, or maybe you came across it unexpectedly. What matters is that life has a way of placing certain messages in front of us at exactly the right time. If you're still here listening, then some deeper part of you already recognizes that this message speaks to the version of you that is ready to stop merely getting through life and begin returning to yourself. Because the truth is, Scorpio, the jackpot people spend so much time searching for is not simply money or an instant solution. It is the moment you stop believing that your blessings must be earned through constant effort and exhaustion. They arrive when you begin moving in harmony with what is true for you, rather than forcing every outcome. And these next 2 days carry a powerful sense of alignment. The astrology reflects that energy. The moon in Cancer continues to illuminate your connection to spirit, growth, and inner wisdom, while Jupiter's connection with Neptune supports emotional healing, creativity, and even unexpected movement in practical areas for those who are prepared to receive it. Yet none of those possibilities matter if you rush past the moment standing right in front of you. Take a breath with me and allow your body to catch up with where your spirit already is. You are not behind, Scorpio, and you have not missed your opportunity. You are meeting this message exactly when you need it. Even if you haven't found the words for what you've been feeling, if something inside you is quietly saying yes, if you felt even the slightest pull toward this moment, then allow yourself to receive it. Comment below with the word that represents the energy you're stepping into. Maybe that word is peace, confidence, honesty, or clarity. Speak it aloud and type it below. Let yourself claim it, because that simple act becomes a signal that you are moving with the shift instead of resisting it. And if you've stayed with me this far, thank you for showing up for yourself and trusting your intuition enough to keep listening. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription helps strengthen this space and the connection we've built together. This message exists for people who feel deeply, seek meaning, and continue choosing growth even when the path is unclear. Your presence matters more than you realize, and it brings something valuable to everyone who gathers here. Stay with me, because what unfolds next carries an insight you won't want to miss. As the full moon moves through Cancer and illuminates the 9th house of your chart, Scorpio, something meaningful begins to shift beneath the surface. This is more than a date on the calendar or another passing astrological event. Around June 23rd and 24th, you're standing at a powerful midpoint in the year where your inner compass is being gently realigned. The 9th house speaks to truth, spiritual growth, life journeys, and the wisdom that emerges when you're willing to look deeper. When Cancer's deeply intuitive lunar energy shines here, the invitation is not only to explore what comes next, but also to revisit parts of yourself that still carry unanswered feelings, old resistance, or quiet longing. The light reaches forward, but it also touches what remains unresolved in the past. With compassion rather than pressure, it helps soften those places and create room for understanding. For many Scorpios, this period may feel unusual, like the stillness before a tide begins to turn. The feeling may not be dramatic, but it can carry weight. Memories may surface unexpectedly, and people or situations you thought were long behind you could briefly return to your awareness. They are not appearing to pull you backward. They are showing you how much you've changed. The moon in Cancer acts less like a spotlight and more like a mirror, reflecting not only what surrounds you, but what has been quietly living within you all along. Some emotions may emerge from places so deeply buried that you barely recognize they were still there. That is part of astrology's deeper wisdom. It speaks through timing. This week's connection between Jupiter and Neptune does more than inspire imagination. It softens self-judgment and creates space for a gentler relationship with yourself. Jupiter expands wisdom and opportunity, while Neptune strengthens intuition and dreams, and together they bring a sense of possibility that moves through your emotional world like a restorative breath. This alignment offers something many people don't realize they've been waiting for: permission. Permission to release what you've been carrying, to trust your own process, and to see yourself as someone no longer running from pain, but learning how to hold it with greater peace. Imagine the way the tide responds to the moon without hesitation. The ocean moves because it remembers its connection to something greater than itself. In much the same way, your emotional landscape may be shifting because some deeper part of you recognizes the significance of this moment. You do not need every answer right now. You are simply being invited to notice what is changing inside you. Perhaps it appears as restlessness, emotions that arrive without explanation, or moments of stillness that suddenly feel more meaningful than they once did. That isn't resistance, it's resonance. And during times like these, faith becomes one of the most valuable tools you have. Not faith in specific outcomes, but faith in being present with what is unfolding. Isaiah 43:3 offers a gentle reminder: when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. The promise has never been about avoiding difficult seasons. It has always been about remembering that you do not walk through them alone. If your heart has felt as though it's been working hard to stay afloat, allow yourself to stop fighting the current for a moment. This is not surrender through defeat, it is trust born from experience. There is no prize for carrying every burden in silence, and there is no honor in pretending you do not feel what you feel. What this moment offers is the ability to experience your emotions without being consumed by them, to remember without becoming trapped there, and to continue forward at your own pace. You do not need to fully understand every feeling in order to respect it. Sometimes that looks like writing your thoughts down. Sometimes it means lighting a candle and sitting quietly with yourself. Sometimes it is as simple as whispering, "I'm here, I'm listening." If your inner world has felt different lately, do not dismiss it as stress alone. Something deeper may be asking for your attention, and if you feel ready, truly ready to allow life to respond to the changes already happening within you, then say it, write it, speak it aloud. I am ready for the shift my soul has been waiting for. Let those words become a beginning rather than a destination. Because during these days, the invitation is not to repair yourself. It is to meet yourself with honesty, timing, and trust. There are moments in a Scorpio's path when life stops speaking in whispers and begins communicating through symbols, signs, and meaningful echoes. And when these cards appear, not simply as images, but as reflections of where you are right now, something deeper than interpretation begins to take shape. During this pivotal point in the year, each card feels less like a prediction and more like a conversation with your own spirit. Together, they reveal where you've been, where you're standing, and what is beginning to unfold within you. Each one offers a different piece of the path that's opening ahead. The first card to emerge is Judgment. Not the harsh or critical version many people imagine, but something closer to an inner awakening. It feels like a quiet signal from the part of you that has been waiting patiently to rise into the light. Rather than asking what mistakes you've made, this card asks a more meaningful question. Are you ready to become more fully yourself? Judgment speaks of recognition, renewal, and remembering who you are beneath old fears and expectations. For Scorpio, a sign deeply connected to truth, transformation, and emotional depth, this energy feels especially powerful. It carries the feeling of returning to something important that has always belonged to you. What was once hidden away is no longer asking to remain buried. It is asking to be acknowledged and given room to live again. Following that comes the Ace of Cups, arriving with a softer energy. If Judgment is the soul awakening, the Ace of Cups is the heart responding. This card points toward an emotional beginning that may be subtle, yet impossible to ignore. It can appear as new love, forgiveness, deeper compassion, or simply the willingness to meet your own feelings with greater kindness. Sometimes the beginning isn't a new relationship at all. Sometimes it is the decision to stop running from what you feel. Scorpio often protects their heart because their emotions run deep, and this card gently encourages you to loosen that protection, just enough to let more life in. Vulnerability here is not weakness. It is an opening that allows healing and connection to grow. Then comes Temperance. After the emotional movement of the first two cards, this energy brings steadiness and perspective. It asks you to step away from the pressure to constantly prove yourself or force results. Instead, it invites balance, patience, and trust in the timing of what is unfolding. This can be challenging for Scorpio because you often approach growth with intensity and determination. Yet Temperance reminds you that lasting change develops through consistency rather than urgency. You do not need extremes for your life to carry meaning. You are allowed to move through this season gradually with softness, stability, and confidence in the process itself. The final card is the Knight of Pentacles. Quiet, reliable, and often underestimated. This card carries the energy of steady progress. It represents the place where inner transformation begins to create visible results in the practical areas of your life. The focus here is on work, finances, security, and long-term stability. This is not the energy of sudden fortune or overnight success. It is the kind of growth that builds layer by layer until one day you realize how far you've come. A financial opportunity may appear, a project could regain momentum, or practical support may arrive from an unexpected source. The deeper message remains the same. What is truly meant to support you does not require chasing. You are simply being asked to remain grounded, consistent, and open. Together, these four cards create a powerful story. Judgment speaks of awakening. The Ace of Cups speaks of emotional opening. Temperance teaches balance. The Knight of Pentacles brings steady movement into the physical world. Each card touches a different part of your experience, your spirit, your heart, your relationship with time, and your everyday reality. Together they reinforce a truth you may need to hear right now. You are not behind, and nothing about your journey is broken. You are moving in rhythm with something larger than your fears, your expectations, or the timeline you've placed upon yourself. If one of these cards stands out to you, give yourself a moment to sit with it. Take a breath and allow its message to settle naturally within you. Ask yourself, what am I being invited to see differently during this season? What part of me is asking for greater recognition and care? And if this message resonates, share it in the comments. Tell us which card spoke to you most deeply and include one word that reflects what you're calling into your life. Maybe that word is peace, strength, renewal, or clarity. Your words carry meaning, and sometimes the insight you share becomes the very sign someone else has been waiting to receive. Some of life's most meaningful rewards arrive without fanfare. They don't appear as impressive numbers on a screen, dramatic announcements, or moments that demand recognition from others. Around this pivotal point in the year, Scorpio, the jackpot you've been searching for is not something outside of you. It arrives quietly, like finally taking a full breath after holding it for far longer than you realized. This isn't a prize you win, it's a truth you remember. It is the moment you stop chasing something you believed was missing and begin recognizing that what you needed was already living within you. At its heart, it is the realization that you are enough, exactly as you are. After the emotional shifts, the astrological movements, and the messages revealed through the moon and the cards, this is where everything begins to settle into place. This is the return to yourself. It is the kind of jackpot people rarely talk about, because it doesn't come through striving. It arrives when striving finally loosens its grip. You were never meant to spend your life waiting for someone else to choose you. You are here to choose yourself again and again until self-trust becomes as natural as breathing. That is where real transformation begins. Not in a dramatic breakthrough, but in a quiet decision to stand beside yourself instead of against yourself. Many people overlook this kind of blessing because the world teaches us to value constant movement, urgency, and achievement. We are told that progress should look loud and obvious. Yet grace often arrives differently. It settles into your nervous system and gently reminds you that safety can exist even before external circumstances fully change. The true jackpot during these June days is realizing that love does not require endless proving. Rest does not require permission. Belonging does not require abandoning who you are. What is being asked of you now is not to push harder, but to soften enough to trust that receiving is part of the journey. Receiving is not weakness. It is a sign that you are becoming more aligned with what is real and sustainable. Astrologically, when supportive energies begin to gather, when hidden truths come into view, and when emotional breakthroughs become possible, it often signals that something meaningful is taking root beneath the surface. The shift may not look dramatic from the outside, but inside it feels like safety returning. This is where healing becomes something you can live with rather than simply chase. Your nervous system begins to release its constant expectation of danger. Your heart gradually stops preparing for disappointment every time it opens. That kind of change transforms lives far beyond any temporary circumstance. Many spiritual traditions teach that your outer experience often reflects the energy you carry within. If you have been doing the deeper work, this may be the season when you notice life responding differently, not because you forced anything into place, but because you finally stopped standing in the way of what wanted to reach you. Receiving is not something you earn through perfection. It is something you allow through belief. The challenge is trusting that you are worthy of it now, not later. Not after more healing, more productivity, or more self-improvement, but exactly where you stand today. This kind of blessing rarely arrives all at once. Sometimes it appears through someone showing up at the right moment. Sometimes it looks like a choice becoming clearer than it used to be. Sometimes it is a conversation unfolding with ease, or waking up and realizing your body feels a little lighter than before. That is often how these gifts enter your life. They move quietly through the openings you've finally created. So let me ask you something, Scorpio. When was the last time you felt like you were truly breathing again? Not merely getting through the day, but fully exhaling without carrying the weight of anticipation, pressure, or overthinking. That feeling is what you're being invited back to during these days. It is the frequency of a deeper kind of jackpot, one rooted in trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the present moment, and trust in the timing of your life. If some part of you can feel that shift beginning, if something inside you feels as though it's finally loosening or moving forward, acknowledge it, speak it aloud, write it in the comments. What is the word, the feeling, or the breath you're reclaiming right now? Sometimes your willingness to say yes to your own growth becomes the very thing that helps someone else believe in theirs. This is not about turning your life into a list of manifestations to complete. It is about allowing your spirit to rest within its own sense of worth without apology. That is when miracles begin to emerge. That is when the true jackpot arrives, not through spectacle, but through peace. Sometimes guidance does not arrive as an answer. It arrives through symbols, patterns, and quiet repetitions. This week, Scorpio, if certain numbers keep finding their way into your day on receipts, clocks, addresses, or even in your dreams, pay attention to them. Repeating numbers often arrive like quiet confirmations, reflecting something your heart already knows, but may not have fully expressed yet. Life has a subtle way of getting your attention when you're ready to notice. Sometimes a sign appears not to give you answers, but to help you trust what is already unfolding. The number 8 may be showing up around you now. It carries the energy of inner strength, personal power, and emotional resilience. Yet its message is not about pushing harder or controlling every outcome. Instead, it reminds you that real strength often appears when you stop forcing and begin trusting the wisdom you've already earned through experience. Then there is 23, a number that feels especially connected to this moment in time. It carries the vibration of movement, redirection, and stepping into a new chapter with greater awareness. When 23 appears, it often arrives as a reminder that life is responding to the changes you've already made within yourself. It encourages you to keep moving forward without needing every detail mapped out in advance. And then comes 44, the builder. This number speaks of foundation, stability, and creating something lasting from everything you've learned. Its energy asks you to recognize how much progress has already happened beneath the surface. Rather than remaining in preparation mode, you're being encouraged to use your growth and begin building from clarity instead of survival. When 44 appears, it reminds you that meaningful progress is often quiet. You may not see every result yet, but the structure within you is changing. Your confidence, your self-trust, and your emotional maturity are becoming stronger than they were before. That inner foundation matters far more than temporary appearances. Now let's talk about color, because color carries its own kind of language. Deep teal, a rich blend of blue and green, feels especially aligned with the energy surrounding June 23rd and 24th. It reflects emotional wisdom, intuition, renewal, and the calm confidence that comes from trusting yourself. When emotions feel intense or your thoughts become too loud, this color can serve as a visual reminder to return to your center. Deep teal supports clarity without pressure and reflection without fear. If you're drawn to it, wear it, keep it nearby, or spend a few moments focusing on it while journaling or sitting quietly with your thoughts. Let it become more than a color. Let it remind you of the steady truth already growing within you. And through all of these signs, the numbers, the colors, the meaningful patterns, there is one thing worth remembering. You are not walking this path alone. Even during seasons that feel uncertain, even when answers seem distant and peace feels difficult to reach, there is support present in ways you may not always see. Isaiah 43:10 offers a reminder that has comforted many hearts through uncertain times. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. Whether you approach these words through faith, reflection, or simple hope, their message remains powerful. You are seen, supported, and carried through more than you realize. Faith is rarely about having every answer. It is not the absence of doubt or uncertainty. It is the willingness to keep looking forward, even when the path remains unclear. It is the quiet decision to say, I'm willing, not perfect, not fully prepared, but willing to trust that life is guiding me, willing to believe that something meaningful is unfolding, even before I can clearly see it, willing to allow grace to accomplish what effort alone never could. So if you've been noticing 8, 23, or 44 appearing around you lately, take a moment and pay attention. Let those numbers settle into your awareness as confirmation rather than uncertainty. And if one of them feels especially meaningful, share it. Leave a comment with the number you've been seeing and one word that captures what it stirs within you. Sometimes recognizing a sign for yourself helps someone else recognize one for their own journey. That is often how energy moves. Quietly, naturally, and through small moments of connection. The most meaningful shifts rarely arrive with dramatic announcements. They often begin with a whisper and the choices you make when no one else is watching. After all the reflection, the astrological insights, and the emotional breakthroughs that have been unfolding, this is where transformation begins to take root. It settles into your everyday life through intention, awareness, and trust. During these June days, the energy feels gentle yet powerful, and all it asks from you is your willingness to meet it halfway. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to perform for it. What matters now is creating room for what is already trying to enter your life. Miracles are not demanding grand displays of effort. They ask for openness, stillness, and a willingness to be present with yourself. That is why we begin with a simple statement. A single sentence written in your own handwriting, spoken quietly when it feels right, and carried with you throughout the day. I am enough. I do not need to struggle to be worthy of my miracles. Let those words become an anchor whenever doubt resurfaces or old patterns begin replaying in your mind. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about changing the relationship you built with pressure and learning a different way to move through life. Then, if it feels right, light a candle for yourself. Not as a performance, but as a quiet act of intention. Keep that intention simple. Perhaps it is one word, one feeling, or one hope you have never fully spoken aloud. Let the flame hold that intention for a while. Let it remind you that even the smallest light can change the atmosphere around it, just as a single clear intention can begin changing the energy within you. Step outside for a few minutes if you can. Leave your phone behind and give yourself a brief pause from constant input. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Notice the air around you and allow the sunlight to touch your skin, even if only for a moment. Nature has a way of restoring balance that cannot be replicated through screens. You do not need a profound experience. You only need to be fully present where you are. If journaling calls to you, write a letter, not to your past self, but to the person you are becoming. Speak to the version of yourself a few months from now, the one living with greater peace, clarity, and confidence. Tell that future version what you hope they have learned. Tell them what you hope they have released and what choices you are making today to support their growth. When you return to those words later, you may discover just how much has shifted. There is also a simple truth many people forget. Ordinary actions become meaningful when they are filled with presence. Drinking water can become a moment of gratitude. Turning off a light before bed can become a signal that the day is complete. Tying a sacred corner of your home, even if it is only a small shelf, can become a declaration that your energy matters. Gratitude does not need to be long or elaborate. Sometimes it is a single quiet thank you whispered before the day begins. These are not merely routines, they are rituals. And every ritual sends a message. I am not only thinking about change, I am creating space for it. Move gently with yourself. Trust the subtle shifts. Miracles are not waiting for you to become perfect before they arrive. They meet you when you are present, and presence does not require certainty. It asks only for willingness, the willingness to care again, to hope again, and to keep your heart open even when your voice trembles. So, let me ask you this, Scorpio. What small ritual will you choose to honor this turning point? What action feels like your quiet yes to the season unfolding before you? Share it in the comments. Maybe it is journaling. Maybe it is taking a silent walk. Maybe it is finally lighting that candle you've been saving. Let this be the moment. And by sharing it, you may encourage someone else to take their own small step forward. That's how energy moves. That's how we rise together, one breath at a time. What if the miracle you've been hoping for isn't waiting somewhere far ahead of you? What if it has already begun taking shape within you, quietly, steadily, and without demanding anything in return? Sometimes the most important shifts arrive so gently that we mistake them for ordinary moments, yet those moments often carry the beginnings of something life-changing. Scorpio, these days are not here to test your strength. They are here to remind you of it. As June 23rd and 24th unfold, the message is simple. You do not have to prove your value to deserve peace, love, clarity, or opportunity. You are being invited back into alignment with the part of yourself that already knows you belong. And perhaps that is the most difficult lesson of all, to believe that you can arrive exactly as you are, not more accomplished, not more polished, not more healed, and still be worthy of receiving. Yet that is precisely what this moment is trying to teach you. Transformation begins when you stop measuring your worth against impossible standards and start meeting yourself with honesty instead. Your willingness to feel what is real, to slow down when needed, and to release stories that no longer serve you, create space for something new to enter. Not perfection, not performance, simply truth. And truth has a way of opening doors that force never could. If you stayed with this message until now, then some part of you already senses that this is more than information. It feels like a threshold, a turning point in the middle of the year that asks for awareness rather than urgency. You are not being asked to leap forward. You are being invited to pause, breathe, and quietly say, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm ready. So let me ask you something. not as someone who claims to know every answer, but as someone who understands what it means to keep believing through uncertain seasons. What are you finally ready to receive? Not only in the material sense, but within your heart, your energy, and your sense of identity. What are you ready to stop chasing? What are you ready to welcome instead? You do not need a perfect plan, and you do not need to have every step figured out. The invitation is simply to begin where you are with presence, gentleness, and the belief that showing up matters. Lighting a candle, writing a few honest words, whispering a prayer, or taking a conscious breath are not small things. They are powerful ways of saying, I trust the timing of my life. I trust that what belongs to me is finding its way toward me. Sometimes faith looks less like certainty and more like remaining open. Scorpio, you have always carried the energy of transformation. Yet what if this season asks something different of you? What if growth now comes not from tearing everything down, but from appreciating what you have already built? What if the next chapter begins when you stop running and allow yourself to stand fully inside the life and wisdom you've already earned? You do not need to force alignment into existence. You only need to remain available to it. The door in front of you does not require pushing. It asks only that you recognize it is already open, and you, exactly as you are today, are worthy of walking through it. If this resonates with your heart, write this in the comments right now. I am ready to receive the big jackpot of my soul. Let those words become your declaration. Let them become your quiet yes to everything that is beginning to unfold. And perhaps someone reading your comment will find the courage to say yes as well. If this message has touched something within you, stay connected. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can continue sharing this journey together. Every conversation, every reflection, and every moment of growth helps strengthen the space where healing, self-discovery, and hope can continue to flourish. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself and bringing your energy into this community. Your presence matters. Your journey matters. The opportunities, healing, and blessings making their way toward you are arriving in their own perfect timing, and so are you. Take one more breath and allow that truth to settle within you. You do not need to rush ahead. You only need to be present. That's where it begins. That's where it all begins.